Hi guys, and welcome to another video on this channel. For today's video I will be showcasing my custom tactics in EAFC 24. I start out in the 4-2-4 formation. There isn't really any specific reason to that, because as we dive into the custom tactics, the one I'm using for 99% of most games is the 4-4-2. This is my attacking option. You can also have it as your defensive or any other of these options. That doesn't really matter too much, but I have it as my attacking formation. It's usually what I go into straight from kickoff. So if we take a look at the custom tactics here, you can see that my defensive style is on balance. That's the way I prefer it, with the standard at 50 and the depth is at 71. Now there is a little bit of controversy around this 71 depth thing. The thing with it is that it makes your defensive AI very overpowered and very helpful in the pressing of your opponent, which most often leads to you winning the ball back in advantageous positions. And from there you can counterattack and really punish your opponent if he makes any mistakes. In the beginning of the game I did have it a bit lower at like 55 or 60. I quite like the pressing of 71. But sometimes if I go up against a very strong opponent, I will lower it down if I feel like he can take advantage of my defenders pushing up and trying to press him. But for start, leave this at 71. It will help you a lot in pressing your opponent and win the ball back in very good positions. Now when it comes to the offense, in the whole game of FIFA 23, I use these exact settings pretty much. Balanced and direct passing is the way to go. Direct passing is simply just the best chance creation option that you have on this game, and it was the same in FIFA 23. It's too overpowered. The runs the attacking AI makes when you get the ball up in the final third of the pitch is absolutely insane. You need to have this on direct passing. Now for width, I kept it at a standard 50. I played around with different values here, but when I go a little bit higher than 50, my winger seems to be too close to the sideline and they're really out of the games at some points. And when I drop it down to like 40, it seems like most of the pitch gets cramped up with all my players, so I like it at a standard 50. Now for players in the box, I always have this at 6. As you can see here on the screen, a lot of people get into the box, and if I just turn it down to 5, the attackers doesn't really get all the way into the box on this little animation. And I feel like it's sort of what happens in game if you have this at 5. When you get down to the byline, you just don't really have that option in the box for that sweaty cutback pass that always leads to a goal in this game. So I put this at 6 and it works very well for me. Now a bit of a controversial one, but corners or free kicks, I have these on 1. And in this video I will show you exactly why I have corners on 1. Because when you have it at 1, you only have 3 players in the box. One of them you're gonna tell to come short, so that the other 2 will be alone in the box, and you're gonna take control of one of them and you're gonna create a big opportunity on almost every corner. Now on to one of the most important things here, player instructions. Start from the back, and here my goalkeeper comes for cross. You can also change the saving outside the box to sweeper keeper, but it seems like the keeper just comes out way too far, and sometimes my opponent just runs around my keeper. So I keep that at default, but definitely comes for crosses feels very good in game. The 2 center backs I leave completely as they are from standard, so we can just move on. Both the full backs I have on stay back while attacking, and also overlap run type. So when I call for that run, they do it as an overlap. Now for my 2 center mids, really my first line of defense when my opponent is attacking, I have both of those on stay back while attacking and also cover center. And I just leave them as that. Now there are quite a lot of instructions on the wingers. I do have them on comeback on defense. I also have them on cut inside on chance creation, because when you play in a wide formation, your wingers need sometimes to just make that run on the inside of the fullback where there is a lot of space and they have a direct path onto goal. I have that on balance width as well, but that just didn't really cut it for me. They were hogging the lines a little bit too much, so I've changed it to cut inside. Now for support runs, I have them on come short. A very big thing this year is that sometimes your wingers are just absolutely out of the game. When your fullbacks have the ball, there are no passing options. So I really want these wingers to come short, so there always is a passing option for me to pass out from the back. And also I have them on get into the box for crosses. So this is when the other wingers or the strikers have the ball around the area, then this winger will come inside the box for a passing option or anything like that. And that is where a lot of big chances are created. As you can see, I have the exact same instruction here on Neymar on my left side. Now I have 2 strikers, and usually there are 2 different types of strikers, and I usually mix up the type of strikers that I'm using. So for this one, Rodrigo is the fast one and Griezmann is the slower one. So the instructions for your fast striker, you can do it on either side. I just have Griezmann, the slower one, on the right side because he's left-footed and has finesse playstyle plus. So Rodrigo here is the fast one. He's on stay central, and that's it. I have tried him on get in behind, but he's just not really a passing option for the build-up play, and I really want to be able to create some nice passing flows in my game to create some bigger chances, so I just have him on mixed attack. Now the slower one, Griezmann, more of the playmaker type, the finesse shot from distance here. I have him on stay central and mixed attack as well, but the difference here is I have him on comeback on defense. And I know it seems really ready to have one of your main strikers come back on defense, but as I said before, this year the attacking AI is sometimes kind of weird and you don't really have any passing options. So with him coming back on defense, he's much closer to my midfield when I start the build-up of the play. And I feel like I can create a lot more chances with him ping-ponging with the midfield and the wingers to kind of start that counter-attack or that nice build-up play from the ground up. I have tried having both of my strikers on this basic defense support, but they're just too far from my midfield and I feel like my passes get intercepted too much. So as I said, I have Griezmann on comeback on defense. Now for the corner tactic, as I did mention before, here is what I do on most of my corners, especially the first few in the game before my opponent finds out what kind of tactics I am using. I do have a run who has the dead ball playstyle, so my line on the screen is a little bit longer than yours might be, but the concept is still very much the same. As I explained before, we only have one bar on corners on our offense, so that means that there are 3 players in the box. Now if you just stop the clip here, I've just called my first player to come short. Now this creates a huge dead space in the beginning of the box, and as you can see here, I choose to control one of my other defenders. In this instance it is Militao, and if you roll the clip just a little bit further and stop it here, you can see I put quite a lot of power on it. You don't want to go full out on the power, but you need at least like 3 bars of power here to get it nice and deep into the box. Now when you've done that, your corner taker kind of freezes and you are free to move your player inside of the box. And as you can see here, I'm a little bit of a hustle with his defender here, but I want to move Militao a little bit closer to the corner flag here. As you can see, there's a lot of dead space there, and that is exactly the space that I want to attack. And I'm just gonna roll the clip again, and then just quickly gonna see how it plays out. So as you can see, that there's really a lot of space in the front part of the box there that I'm really able to attack. Now if my opponent knows kind of what I'm doing, he could move his keeper or control his defenders better to cover that. And if he defends it well, you can always just choose the option to go short and then play it to one of the players outside the box and create a chance from there. But that's really the main thing I'm doing on corners, and I almost score on every game when I get a corner from this tactic, or at least some very, very good chances for me to get a goal. But yeah guys, that was it for this time. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean the world to me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.